Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. This is iAllegedly. I've got a good one for you today because we could see hundreds of banks that could basically go out of business. Look, Mr. Squirrel's here to join us in the video. But we have a new government agency that we haven't talked about before that is, reprimanding banks, talking about their stability, and even employees that have done ruthless, terrible things, they're being written up for. So a lot to cover in this video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, but let's get right into it. There is a bank, 42 North Private Bank in Canton, Massachusetts. And basically, this is, high-end bank. This is a bank for people with money, and they do private lending. And what happened was in 2017, they got written up and they had a cease and desist order issued to them where they were on very, very thin ice. And I found the report. And the thing about this is that they wrote them up about, the interest rates that they had, their liquidity, how much cash they had based on the assets and the loans that they had. And they made them change everything. First of all, they, wanted them to have 13%. Think about this. Only 13% of cash on hand towards the assets that they had listed with the bank, and gave them all these different ways to get around it, which was in their favor. Well, they recently got written up again this week by the Office of Comptroller of the Currency and OCC. And these guys are saying, listen, these guys are not financially, they're not doing things in a proper manner. So who else is not doing things in a proper manner? And think about this. Interest rate disparity with different customers, lending money in ways that are questionable, not having adequate management meetings, not having adequate meetings for the bank, but basically just running it like it's a party over there. So would you put your money in this bank? Who would? I mean, you'd have to run. But here's where it got crazier was, the Office of Comptroller of the Currency. We've heard about all these problems with the banks. 2 years ago this month, we had the problem with Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, it just, First Republic, it was a mess during that time. And have things gotten better? They say yes in some areas. In some areas, it's been very unstable during this time. But with that being said, read this report that's included below where they wrote these people up, because, I wouldn't do business with these guys at all. But then it went to, think about this, they went to what they called probationary actions against individuals that work at the bank. Think about this. Here's an order of probation against Carla Vanderno, former assistant branch manager at an Earville, New York bank branch of NBT. She helped herself to unauthorized transactions of $16,000. Wow, helped herself. Another one, Josiah Kennedy, former vice president and mortgage loan officer at Citizens Bank in Abilene, Texas. He got into somebody's construction loan and helped himself to $59,000. How these people are not penitentiary bound, I don't get it. I don't get how these people are not, in jail. But hey, they're probationary. You can't be in the banking industry for a while. Oh well, yeah, you guys steals $59,000. But again, these are, amazing reports. They also showed a couple of different reports. You can read it below where they terminated action. A bank turned itself around, which is great to know that a bank can do that. And there's a few of them. It looks like, yeah, there's two of them on this one. One of them was a bank out of New York, and one of them ICICI Bank, and then another one was Wells Fargo Bank. So, God, Wells Fargo's been in the news a lot lately. First they want to, get rid of the post office. Now this. So, but anyways, what do you think about this? I find it fascinating. I just think that you're seeing all the banks out there that are not making money. They're having trouble, and the lending is the big problem. But to know that they're giving special treatment to certain people, that's insane. Who wants that? I would not do business with somebody that I knew that was making deals with their friends. And rich people, well, that's what we do, Dan, with each other. You're a peasant and we don't care about you. So, special mortgages, special loans, not having bylaws done, and following the rules. It's kind of wild. Now, are you one of the people that thinks the economy is good or you think it's bad? I think that every single business person that I talk to has struggles right now. Everybody, everybody. Some people are still successful. Some people are still selling things, but you've got an issue with shipping. You've got an issue with your cardboard company, your labeling company, printing. You've got issues with everybody. Okay, something is not going right. Morgan Stanley steps forward and they say, "Listen, we want you to understand that we're raising our recession risk from 15 to 20%, which is not a big deal." Because Bank of America, they raised theirs uh, to from 55% to 60% this year. So there's going to be issues, guys. There's going to be issues. But the banks also, if there is a recession, if we can officially say that from the dark place that we all live in right now, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. Okay, with that being said. So it's not good right now. Now, another example, I'll give you a Wells Fargo situation. Jose Vasquez, him and his wife run a construction company. And in January, going through the bank account and realizes that there's a direct debit out of his account for $20,000 even. And he calls Wells Fargo Bank and says, "Hey, listen, we didn't authorize this. You guys need to fix this right away." "Okay, we'll work on that." And then the next day, there was another $20,000. And he's like, "Guys, that's 40 grand that we didn't authorize." What does Wells Fargo determine? Yeah, they did authorize it. You guys are responsible for the $40,000 out of your construction company. So him and his wife, Amanda, sit there and had to fight it. The way that they got it done was they went to the local ombudsman, with the local TV station that finally got involved with Wells Fargo to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, maybe these people didn't do that." Guys, come on. Enough is enough. This is getting to the point that you have to go to the TV station to get yourself results, and Wells Fargo won't listen. Wells Fargo has enough problems right now. You think that they would have somebody that would work on fraud, work on ridiculous charges, things like that. So let me know, if you have any issues like that. Another thing that keeps getting sent to me since we talked about the video over the weekend, we've had people send me about, "Hey, should you self-insure in your house? Should you go for it? Should you gamble?" I should make my own video. I was going to make my own video on this, but it should be, "Are you stupid? Are you on acid? Do you sniff glue?" Would be the title of that, because I am telling you guys, you don't need insurance. Health insurance is the only thing that we buy that we use on a regular basis. The rest of it, we hope we never need it. We hope you never get in a car accident. You hope your car doesn't get stolen. You hope somebody doesn't steal your catalytic converter 3 times in front of your house. You hope that doesn't happen, but it does. Okay? But these people are talking about, "Hey, you busted your hump all your life, paid your house off, and you should self-insure." Why not? Why not do it? Well, why don't you ask the people in California, the Eaton Fire, Palisades, the people that the cleanup was 100 grand for some of those houses. Do you have an extra $100,000 to clean up trash? Oh, some people got a deal down and it was only 20. Do you have an extra 20 grand? Let's do it that way. Some of these houses were huge, guys, and they've got toxic shenanigans in there where the guys have to wear the little white suits and nuts. When uh, the Tustin hangars burnt down, one of them burnt down. I was dating a nurse who had crap rained down on her house, and it was asbestos, fun stuff. And she's like, "Oh my God, what do I do? What do I do?" So she calls the authorities and the city and the police and everybody, and they sent out the guys in the white outfits to clean it all up. Okay, what do you think that cost the city? "Hey, listen, we're glad we cleaned this up for you." There's going to be so many lawsuits from that. What do you think is going to happen from this? But you should be the fool that self-insures. Self-insures. I mean, come on, guys. You know what I mean? It gets ridiculous. You know, you, You know what little can go wrong when you own a house, Dan? It's just Gladys and I, and we're going to do this. I'm telling you this right now. Whenever I go out, I always meet people. Always, always, always. Talking to everybody. But when I was on that ship for my birthday, I met a woman that told me about her poor parents that lost their house. It burnt down to the ground, and they self-insured for 18 years. Wow, they won for 18 years until they didn't. But they don't have a $4 million house anymore. Remember that. So don't follow the stupidity of this. Get a deal. Go to your state. Do something, because if something ever happens, this is where you're stuck. Now, if the place is mortgaged to the hilt, and you have to have more. When you have a mortgage, you have to have insurance. But if you don't care about your financial well-being, let it, go self-insured. Watch what happens. It's those people are the people that lose their houses. It's not the people with insurance. I'm convinced of that. Convinced bad things happen to the people that think it's not going to happen to them. So let me know what you think so far. One more banking thing that I find very interesting is Warren Buffett. I'm telling you, I mention this guy's name and people either love this guy or they hate that guy. I mean, there's no in between with Warren Buffett. Now, Warren Buffett sold almost $6 billion worth of Bank of America stock. Why? What's he know? What does he know? Remember, we were doing this total a year ago, 900 million this week, 700 million. It was just, that's almost $6 billion when you add it all up. Well, what he did was he bought into Japanese brokerage houses, Mitsui, Marubeni, Mitsubishi, and a couple other ones that I can't pronounce. But anyways, stories below on that. But what does he know that he's getting out of uh, getting out of the banking industry? One thing we talk about, and I say, hey, you guys need to stock up. It's time to, if you know you're going to buy something, you should go out and get a deal on it, and you should buy it now. I meant food, guys. I meant preparation stuff. I didn't mean alcohol. And what's funny is there is a slew of people right now that are out buying wine and spirits and champagne and different things because they're concerned about all of the tariffs that are going to take place, 200% tariffs on April 2nd. And a great story below about all these people that are going out and they're just stepping up, man. They're buying 120 bottles of champagne. Really? I mean, gosh, you guys are going to have a party. Now, again, if you're gonna drink it, you're gonna drink it. But man, it's crazy that you're seeing all these people step up, and the wine, distributors. They're like, hey, it's great. We're selling all this stuff now. We don't know what's going to happen on April 3rd, but again, wouldn't it be funny if there's no tariff? So, are they going to do it? Is it going to happen? But all these different wines, all these different champagnes. Read the article below because it's pretty good. But I find that fascinating. And again, we're just taking your advice. We're going to buy some champagne, cases and cases of champagne. Before I end this video, I want to remind everybody that we have a private channel called iAllegedly Live, and it's completely uncensored. It's all the stuff you can't talk about other places, but check it out. You sign up at iAllegedly.tv. I absolutely love doing the content for it. We have well over 200 videos on there now, but check it out today. Now, there is a new law here in California that they want to get passed, and they want this to be something that could go around the country. And here you have to smog check certain vehicles. Jay Leno, formerly of The Tonight Show, is a huge car enthusiast. He is trying to get a new law passed where Senate Bill 712, where if you have a vehicle that was built before 1990 and before, you don't have to get it smogged. And he wants that put through because he said it's so difficult to get these older cars smogged, and the expense and everything you have to do. And it kind of makes sense, guys. I mean, I think it does, because sometimes they can sit there and they can make people spend $2,500, $3,000. And Jay Leno's got, hundreds of cars. So, but it does make sense that the older vehicles should just be given a pass. I think so. I think so. There's talk of the EPA getting rid of these smog checks and smog requirements and things like that. We'll see if that happens. Okay. Now, another final car story was with all the stories about Tesla, late last week they had an all hands on meeting that Elon ran. But one thing they've done is when you walk up to like a Cybertruck, by the way, every Cybertruck has been recalled recently because you could have panels that could come off. And my daughter says, "Oh my gosh, you're going to see panels flying off in the freeway." Maybe, okay? But so they did recall all those vehicles, so they have to secure all those, which is fascinating. But with the all hands meeting, when you park your Cybertruck, you can do something called Sentry mode that activates the camera. If you walk up to it, if you key the car, you get too close, it just starts filming and it saves it in the memory. Well, it also now with Sentry mode, you can have extra loud music played to where it will blast music for people if they get too close to the car. So if anybody has a Cybertruck and you can send me that video, that I would love to share on this channel with everybody. But I just think it's unbelievable how stupid these people are that are out smashing cars and keying cars and doing all this horrible stuff, and they don't realize that they're on camera. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I could bore you with 40 different videos that were sent to me where these people are just, vandalizing these vehicles and thinking that they're going to get away with it, and they're not. So don't forget to join our email list. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and onward and upward, guys. You want to send me anything? It's hello@iallegedly.com. What do you think about these banks? I think that there's something in the air right now. Greg Manarino thinks so too. I respect that guy tremendously, but he thinks that the stock market's going to collapse because of the debt market. We can talk more about that soon. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you soon.